Alright, the Makeup Moron is back. Sorry it took so long to do this video. Here is a before shot of me. Oh god, here we go. Totally red, shiny face, looking horrible. Here I'm going in with the e.l.f. Hydrating, I think it's a mineral primer. I'm not sure if it's mineral or not, but it's got a lot of vitamins in it and things like that. The texture was really nice. It wasn't horrible. So here I'm just kind of smoothing it all over my face. I did decide to audio dub over this video just because the other one was way too long and I found myself just rambling. So about this primer a little bit, I've tried better primers, but for the price point, this primer was fine. Lately, I actually have not been using a primer. I've just been toning, moisturizing, and then just using my foundation. But I did use it. Keep in mind, it was like 85 degrees in this room that I'm sitting in right now, so it was really hot, which is part of the reason why my skin is so shiny. The foundation portion of this video, which is what's going on right now, is sped up really fast because it took forever. Right now I'm just doing a color swatch to make sure everything matches. It turned out to be a pretty good match. At this point, I didn't really have a lot of brushes. I didn't have a beauty sponge. I didn't have anything like that. So I'm just going in with like a tapered brush, and I was just kind of literally painting it on my skin. So then I moved to kind of a more flat tapered brush, which I actually really like for foundation, but I have found that my beauty sponge has worked a lot better. But you live and you learn, you know what I mean? And so, sorry about the angle of this video, seriously. I mean, talk about living and learning. I didn't have anything at this point. I didn't have a vanity. I didn't have anything. I was sitting in a camping chair next to my windowsill. That's it. So I've come a long way since this first video was recorded. And the next ones hopefully will be much, much better. Okay, so after the foundation, I'm moving on to my e.l.f. concealer stick. This was the first concealer, that I had ever actually used on myself. Obviously, I've had my makeup done. I look like a freaking clown right now. And I started going in and patting it with my finger, and then I was realizing that it was just really, really thick, and it wasn't doing what I needed it to do. So I grabbed my brush, and I went back in with my brush and just tried to blend it out. And there was kind of an oh Jesus moment where after I put the product on, I was like, this is way too much. But I ended up just trying to blend it out. I hadn't really watched a lot of makeup tutorials on concealers and things like that. So I just had no idea what I was doing. And obviously you can see I'm laughing at myself. And if you can't laugh at yourself, then you're just not living your life to the fullest. Like, if you have to be able to laugh at yourself, I think it's very important. Here I'm just blending in some concealer on the forehead. This I had seen on some other tutorials. Not that I necessarily needed it at the point, but I decided to go in with some powder and just set my face and set that concealer in. This was not a translucent powder. It did have some color to it. It just matched my foundation. I think it's a Maybelline or a CoverGirl maybe. Not really sure the brand. I just bought it. And here I'm going to go in with some bronzer, and you will see the second that it goes on my skin that I put entirely too much product on my brush. I mean, yeah. Talking about living and learning though. So the bronzer that I am using is also by e.l.f. It's, I forget what it's called. But it's an e.l.f. bronzer, and I had just tried to use what I learned from other tutorials, and I just tried to quickly slap it on. It was the first time that I had used it. So next I'm going in with my new e.l.f. blush that I had bought. I think I used the same brush for the bronzer and the blush. There's a little swatch for you, even though you couldn't see it. And there's you can see when I put the blush on that that's just, and even on camera, and the color on camera is toned down, I think, from what it was in real life. I did film this about 12 weeks ago. But it's so funny to go back and watch this footage and just see like how my eyebrows were shaped and how much blush I put on my face, and it just looks like so much. It's total overkill. I've come a long way in the 12 weeks. So I realized it was a little bit too much. So I went in with some powder and I tried to tone it down a little bit and things like that. I had no idea what I was doing when it comes to highlighting. I bought the e.l.f. Baked Highlighter. I forget the shade. And then I just took a little brush. It's beautiful, but I don't think it's the right highlighter for me. You really can't see it on camera. You really can't see it in person. So I am going to eventually invest in a different highlighter because this is not my favorite highlighter at all. This was a tinted lip balm that I got for free with my order from e.l.f. It took a second for the color to go on, and then all of a sudden it was just like, well, bam, it was just a ton of color. Not my color. Obviously I don't have the best lips in the world, but it is what it is. So moving on to the e.l.f. cream eyeliner. It comes with just its own applicator, but I strongly recommend buying your own applicator because this little applicator is a pain in the rear to work with. But the eyeliner itself was okay. I personally prefer a stick eyeliner, something like Urban Decay. That's kind of been my ride or die forever for eyeliner. So I did my other eye and I put on some just a little bit of eyeshadow and things like that. And that's kind of just where the whole look went. And it's pretty hysterical to look back now and see how my makeup looked. So we'll give you an after shot in just a second. And thank you so much for watching.